The Meadowlands, it's not just the trotters in the spotlight, a whole raft of competition. The 7th race is up next, and it's a $40,000 invitational, and a darn good one, Stan.
Well, the way to tell good horses is not as how fast they can go, which it used to be in harness racing, is how much money they can win. And all you have to do to find out about the class of this field is look at the program. Energy Burner is the one horse, has won $980,000. Amity Chef, who's a 3-year-old taking on older horses, a very tough assignment, has won $564,000. And the rest of them, the Denman, $444,000, Equitable, $337,000, Rambling Storm, $268,000, Embrace Me has won over $600,000, and Dangarvin, $254,000. And they're ready for action.
Energy Burner is 30. Amity Chef is the 8 to 5 second choice. The Denman is at 7. Equitable is 7 to 5. Ramblin Storm is at 30. Embrace Me 19, and Dangarvin is 4. 7 of them. A real good field for this, the 7th race. Here's Tom Durkin with the call.
Thank you, Dave. 3-year-old Amity Chef going against some older horses here in a rough trip in the Meadowlands pace. Let's see what happens. And they're off. Equitable is out fast. Ramblin Storm is there on the outside. Energy Burner comes away toward the rail. Amity Chef just in behind the leaders, now racing 4th. The Denman has come away 5th, followed by Embrace Me and Dangarvin. Around the first turn, Energy Burner and Equitable, they're battling early, and Equitable goes on with it. Energy Burner yields and races 2nd. Ramblin Storm is 3rd. Off the rail comes Amity Chef, now charging hard. Here's the first quarter, 27-3. Into the backstretch. The leader is Equitable by 2 lengths, and Amity Chef is charging after the lead on the outside. John Campbell puts Amity Chef on the lead with a quick brush, and Equitable now yields and races 2nd. Energy Burner is racing 3rd, followed by Ramblin Storm 4th, then the Denman, followed by Embrace Me and Dangarvin is the trailer. Up the backstretch, Amity Chef the leader, Equitable now 2nd, Energy Burner 3rd. Here's the half mile, 56 flat. Into the final turn, Amity Chef is the leader. Equitable remains in the pocket. Energy Burner 3rd, he's just 4 lengths off the lead. Ramblin Storm is next to Denman. Embrace Me launching a bid from the back of the pack. Dangarvin trails. Midway around the final turn, Amity Chef is moving well on the lead. Equitable still 2nd. Energy Burner 3rd. By the back, it's Embrace Me now. On the move on the outside, up into 4th. Here's the 3/4 mark, 124 flat, and it's still Amity Chef, who has drawn away from the field by 3.5 lengths. Amity Chef the leader at the top of the stretch. Equitable is trying to catch him from 2nd now. Energy Burner out for the drive from 3rd. Toward the inside, Ramblin Storm. They're inside the final 8th. John Campbell with Amity Chef. They lead by 2.5 lengths now. Equitable still trying to close in. Equitable is closing ground. Amity Chef clinging to the lead. Equitable, a late surge. Here's the wire, and yes, Amity Chef holds on. The final time was 1:52.1.
John Campbell notches his 3rd victory of the afternoon. The 3-year-old beats the older horses. The final time, 1:52.1. Amity Chef, who had a rough trip in the Meadowlands pace just 3 outs ago on the 18th of July, certainly showed his stuff this afternoon.
Well, he lost stride, went off stride in his last start at Yonkers in the cane pace, and finished 3rd anyway. Went a tremendous trip, and today Campbell had him in high gear, and no sooner did Buddy Gilmore get to the front going down the backstretch then out came Campbell and went right on. I should have said no sooner did Jim Doherty get to the front than Campbell came out. He saw Equitable go, and then he said, I'm moving now, and took the lead and never was headed.
What kind of an accomplishment was it for the 3-year-old to beat this class of older horses?
It's a major accomplishment, and it establishes Amity Chef as just what he was beforehand. He was 4th rated in the experimental handicap. He is a top colt, and to beat this class of horse on a mile track with a mile of 1:52.1 is a major accomplishment.
And putting this time into perspective, I see the world record was 1:51.3, so this is really just a few ticks away from that.
And there's a strong, strong headwind blowing down that stretch. When these horses come down in the last 16th, which is when they start to get tired, that wind right in their face, and you see him holding off Equitable here, and a terrific drive by Campbell and a great performance for this French Chef colt.
So that was Amity Chef, the number 2 horse, paying $5, $3.20 and $3.40, even more to show. With number 4, Equitable, second, beaten about ahead, returning $2.80 and a mirror $2.80 to show. With number 5, Ramblin Storm, third at $4.80. Energy Burner was fourth at 2-4 Exacta, worth $12.40. But this was it. There's no heat racing for these horses this afternoon. But what a performance!
A great performance, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, David, that only one American has won here today on Hambletonian Day. We're going to have certainly a Scandinavian winner of the appears. We're going to have a Scandinavian winner of the Hambletonian, and Canadians winning everything else.
And continuing the international flavor, Amity Chef is by French Chef.